It's you by Mikey. Today we're reacting why data centers are named after the fallen angels, which is kind of strange if you actually think about it. Like, why? Like, it also makes me give an inclination to data centers having some nefarious purposes. People in charge of the world has to portray that kind of symbolism. They have to actually tell us what they're actually trying to do. So they always try to portray the symbolism, and they always show what they're actually doing. But they never try to hide it. They had to give us glimpses of truth itself. And the masters too stupid to even realize that. To masters, that's just some kind of like a fallen angel. No big deal. Like it's just a name. Like so. Let's just get into it. It's made by Scariest Movie, or you can find him on Twitter. Like one of the best. Fucking this dude makes amazing videos.
Hey guys, it's KJ from the Scariest Movie Ever. And it seems these tech billionaires are naming their robot control centers after demons and fallen angels that the Bible specifically warned about, the same entities that God sent the flood to destroy. That's not a coincidence, and it's not just cool sounding names. They're telling you what they're building, all to get ready for the mass disappearance of human beings, let's say, the post human existence.
It's crazy. They always always they have to show what they're actually trying to do. They always tell us the truth itself. Like we're doing some nefarious shit. There's nothing you can actually do about it. Like they give us some information. They're the bad guys. They they set out themselves. Like they're not even trying to pretend anymore.
Coming on by the next world war and other factors. These data centers are being built to teach artificial intelligence how to control robot armies, just like the Terminator. Robots that can hunt people, identify targets, and take a life without waiting for a human to approve it. Here's one of the companies I'm talking about, Stratos. You can even see here they're showing you the grid they're creating all around the world, like Project Stargate AI. But it's interesting to keep in mind that Stratos comes from the ancient Greek archistratos, where archon means demonic ruler and then stratos means army. In Ephesians 6, Paul uses the word archons to describe the rulers, the authorities, the powers of this dark world, and the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. And that's biblical Greek for.
You're telling me they actually chose his name as a coincidence? Like they actually cho- chose his name? Like it sounds like a cool name. Sounds like a cool video game final boss villain whatsoever. Like it sounds like a cool name. Bro, we all know what they're trying to do. Like,
demons.
and don't get me started on the fucking data centers and the amount of environmental damage actually caused to the surrounding areas of single fucking data center causes.
The principalities running the fallen world system. And here we find it with Stratos. Here's another one of the companies. This one's called Hyperion. And Hyperion means the high one or watcher from above in ancient Greek. In the book of Enoch, the Watchers were fallen angels who came to earth before the flood, took human wives, taught humanity weapons and sorcery, created the Nephilim, and corrupted creation so completely that God drowned the entire planet. Hyperion, the High One, Watcher from above. And here's another one, an AI company called Prometheus. And this was created by Jeff Bezos, November 2025. And Prometheus, if you didn't know, is a titan in Greek mythology, known for defying the Olympian gods by stealing fire and giving it to humanity,
Yep.
symbolizing knowledge and civilization. So it's really a mirror of Lucifer bringing enlightenment and knowledge to mankind, but our Father God didn't want that.
Yeah, it's false illumination, like trying to portray, trying to show human intellect is about God's intellect. They're trying to superimpose man's intellect over God itself. Like it's ultimately leads to rebellion against God. That's what actually lines up to.
So we see this same story reflected there again, but there's something interesting about Prometheus. It's not just the fact that it's a company here from Bezos. It seems that Mark Zuckerberg has announced Meta is building several massive AI data centers with primary projects named Prometheus and Hyperion once again. So Prometheus, not just Bezos, but also Zuckerberg with Prometheus, the Titan, the giant. By now, I'm sure you've heard of Palantir, the company. It's also connected with the White House, the Trump administration. They're tasked with helping to bring in this Project Stargate AI, which is going to be like a grid, a AI grid around the world. But here we have Palantir, and Palantir is actually a fictional magical artifact from J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, and it was described as an indestructible crystal ball used for communication and seeing events in distant places of the past. Also, it's translated to farsight or watch over, but interesting we find kind of
The Watchers, like, so, bruh, like, they never try to hide who they are or who their allegiance is to. Like, they always have to show. That always makes me wonder why they always like open about it. Like, they always has to show their allegiance. Like, this is like a code. This is like the code in the cabal of the demonic shit. They have to like openly tell who they're owned by. Like,
that occult meaning here behind another one of these AI companies. Not incredibly surprised. There's even an argument to be made that the symbol up in the top left corner is an upside down pyramid and sun. Possibly, right? But that's one of the very common symbols we see with the secret societies here. So Palantir, seeing events in the distant places or in the past. And we have this company, Oracle, ORACLE, and this is another one that's helping out with Project Stargate AI, another big
oh,
AI
bruh,
company
don't get me started on Project Stargate. Like, they're up to some crazy fucking shit.
named Oracle. But what does Oracle actually mean? If we go back, it's a shrine consecrated to the worship and consultation of a prophetic deity as that of Apollo.
Yes, Oracle of Delphi and Apollo, like all those fucking like pagan fucking bullshit.
Or a person such as a priestess through whom a deity is held to respond when consulted. The response given through such a medium, often in the form of an enigmatic statement or allegory, or a person considered to be a source of wise counsel or prophetic opinions, an authoritative or wise statement or prediction, a command or revelation from God. In the Bible, it's the sanctuary of the temple. Here we have Oracle, once again connected to one of these major beast system companies, creating this Stargate AI system all around the world. So as I mentioned, we see all of these massive corporations, companies, governments preparing for that final beast system, the coming digital age, digital enslavement for the entire world, for everybody on the world will be connected to this system is what they want. And you'll eventually connect to that system through the mark, eventually. But it had me thinking of something else. With all the predictive programming we see in movies and television, this is also such a huge part of occult law, where this is a practice that we see. We see the Luciferians using all the time. Cremation of care, even, right? Hiding from karma. But as long as they tell you what they're going to do before they do it, it's okay.
Yeah, it's almost like yeah, in order to not have like a karmic backlash, they always have to tell us what they are trying to do. Like, that's what I draw an inference, like what they're trying to do. Like, I could be wrong. Also, like, it can also be like a test, like to find out who's actually dumb and who's not, who can actually discern, truth itself.
If you understand this concept. So, of course, I've noticed throughout the last several years, there's a lot of movies coming out that portray life during the tribulation. They may not exactly say that's what it is, but clearly this is life in America or other places after destruction, right? So, in this case, perhaps after America, Babylon has been struck, we see what's left. I still say it's the tribulation, right? So after America, Babylon is hit, tribulation, and people will be living much like this. This is a new movie coming out called The Dog Stars, and like I said, there's several other movies, and I'm sure you've seen a bunch that are portraying life during the tribulation. And this right here is certainly another one coming out soon. At the end of the world, no one survives alone. But I just want to show you a few things from this trailer. But yeah, once again, man, we're getting a lot of this predictive programming, these types of movies of how people are going to be living. But what's most important,
These type of movies, where predictive programming is actually present, like the intelligence agencies are behind making these kinds of movies always. Like that's the thing people don't actually know about. Like a lot of Hollywood movies are like has intelligence agencies actually contributing to the story and the plotline and everything. Like, and most people don't even actually realize it. Like the CIA is heavily involved in making Hollywood movies, bro. Like that's Hollywood movies are the way a conduit for them to propagate their fucking bullshit agenda. Like
is they also show you that it's going to be like a half and half with humanity. And I talk about it all the time. I call it the separation of the wheat and the tares, the sheep and the goats. And I see it in a spiritual sense has been happening now in this world for quite a while. But in these movies, they always show that there's some survivors that are regular people and just trying to get by and trying to live. But then the other half are completely demonic, turned over, totally evil, total chaos, total destruction. And we actually find that in some of this trailer as well. Also, it's really important to take note of the name of the movie, the Dog Stars. Many of you may know that the Dog Star is an actual thing. It's Sirius. And Sirius connects us to the mystery schools, Mystery Babylon, to the Masons, to the all-seeing eye, also to Mother Goddess. Sirius is revered as the spiritual sun or the hidden sun, serving as the source of divine wisdom and spiritual illumination from which our solar system's physical sun derives its reflected light. With these Luciferians, it's always something or some entity bringing in enlightenment to humanity outside of Jesus Christ. That's a problem, but it's very common. Going all the way back to the garden, once again, Lucifer bringing knowledge, enlightenment, right, outside of the Lord. It's mystic.
yeah, that's the same thing in line with Prometheus bringing fire to humans. Like that's just the same parallels. Like what they're trying to actually do. It is from like a false illumination. And that's clearly evident in their names they actually use in those data centers.
Associated with Isis, Thoth, Hermes, and Mercury, symbolizing the bridge between the physical and spiritual realms, the gateway to higher consciousness, and the all-seeing eye, or omniscience.
Which is the eye of providence.
We also find it as the blazing star in Freemasonry and Hermeticism. Sirius represents the blazing star, an emblem of divine omniscience and guide for initiates seeking enlightenment. It's also gateway to the afterlife, guardian of the abyss, and a symbol of power. The dog star embodies power, will, and creative abundance, often linked to the Queen of Heaven, Isis, Mother Goddess, and the regenerative forces of nature, such as the Nile's inundation. Sometimes when I'm just watching a movie trailer, I'll see a lot of the common symbols that I see associated with this beast system. I see them as Satan's fingerprints on this different forms of entertainment, movies, TV shows, logos, commercials, whatever. But oftentimes they're common symbols we see throughout the system. And while I was watching this Dog Star commercial, the Dog Stars commercial, I noticed this right here. Look over on the left right there, and then you'll see one of those symbols I show you all the time. It's the sigil of Lucifer, the Star of Ishtar, Star of Lucifer, 8-pointed star, and then right next to it, it's got a couple of the X's. And I did a video on this a while back called "Our World is Being X'd Out." And how often we see the X back. Called the Star of Ishtar, Star of Lucifer. One of those symbols there, and then while I was watching this Dog Star commercial, the Dog Stars commercial, I noticed this right here. Look over on the left right there, and then you'll see one of those symbols I show you all the time. It's the sigil of Lucifer.
Where's the symbol?
The Star of Ishtar, Star of Lucifer, 8-pointed star, and then right next to it, it's got a couple of the X's. And I did a video on this.
No way, did he actually like say this like a sigil of Lucifer and shit? Like this is the pattern he's actually talking about? Like, or am I missing something? Okay, this is actually just reaching for it, bro. Like, bro's reaching for it.
Star of Lucifer, 8-pointed star, and then right next to it, it's got a couple of the X's. And I did a video on this a while back called, and then right next to it, it's got a couple of the X's. And I did a video on this a while back called "Our World is Being X'd Out," and how often we see the X, right? Osiris X, but we see the X constantly, and the X is another one of those common symbols. in the system.
Okay, now it's bro's actually reaching, bro. Like,
And then throughout the trailer, as it goes on, really, you just see, like I was saying, that divide in humanity. You'll see there's some good people trying to make it during the tribulation after the Lord came for his bride, the post-human existence. You can see there's regular folk, and then you can see the monsters, all these people that are completely
what the fuck is this plot movie? Dogstar? Is anybody watched that movie? Like,
turned over to evil. Could it be the terrors showing themselves, the monsters showing themselves amongst us? Large part of humanity demonically possessed, however you want to see it, but a common theme in these movies about the tribulation, even when they don't mention the tribulation. I'd mentioned how many of these movies will show us what's coming after the harpazo, the catching away, what's going to happen with humanity, but they never really mention the rapture or the tribulation. However, here's a movie that came out back in 2024 called Azrael, and they tell you straight up what's going on. It says right here, years after the rapture, the remaining human survivors on Earth are plagued by the burned ones, demonic humanoid creatures who are drawn to and prey upon human flesh and blood. Now, the reason I found that so
who the fuck's actually making the stop movies?
interesting is because I've been listening to for years and years and years dreams and visions from folks, and so many of them have this exact vision, and I've shared those on some of my shows throughout the years because I always find those interesting. People having dreams and visions of the tribulation and demons walking the earth, demons looking like humans chasing after the actual humans. And here we have it actually in this movie Azrael from just a few years ago. And this right here is what that looks like. You can see the demonic creatures, right? This is during the tribulation, demonic creatures attacking humans for their flesh and their blood. So you have some of this in the movie Azrael right here.
Guys, what a stupid name. Not a single soul on the planet actually watched that movie, bro. Like,
Of course, showed you during the trailer for Dog Stars, the 8-pointed star, a very common symbol we find in this beast system on these movies that are filled with programming. So here's another one where you see the 8-pointed star in this movie Azrael. You see the demonic creatures coming in. And then this is super creepy because at the end she saves a baby. And then this is what the baby looks like. As you can see, it's like the devil, or just something evil being born, a demonic entity being born in those days. But yeah, it looks very much like a devilish type creature.
what the fuck?
I don't know if they were trying to say this was the Antichrist or not, perhaps. I'm not sure. But I did find the imagery very interesting and disturbing. She saves the demon baby, and then she gets power over the demons who are chasing after her. So I guess that's a happy ending. I don't know. We have Stratos, we have Hyperion,
That
we have
sort of looks like the
Palantir,
Antichrist.
we have Oracle. They're telling you what they're building using terminology from demonology and ancient texts about corrupted angels. This is Satan's plan to enslave humanity with technology, and they're naming the infrastructure after demons. So I think they realize that most people are too distracted to ever connect those dots. To me, this is what AI, digital currency, robotics, etc. is truly all about. People who are engineers and programmers will be useful idiots to maintain these demonic server farms and associated systems and applications. But the rest of the people will be ultimately subject to elimination by war or communistic social management. When the robot armies are operational and AI is making the decisions, they're going to take out most people, not enslave them, but really take them out. They'll only keep people who have got skills they need to maintain their systems. And if you can't program computers or maintain robots, you and your family are most likely marked for elimination. And that's what technocracy means. Well, my friends, that concludes what I wanted to share with you in this video. And I truly hope it helps. And what's most important, the most important information I could ever share with you is make sure you're saved. Make sure you've confessed with your mouth. You believe in your heart. You've accepted the free gift of salvation from Jesus. That's the most important.
That's right, amen. And these guys are like actually building data centers. Like, I think like Elon Musk named data center in Memphis or something like that. Like from ancient Egypt. Like and they're drawing heavy symbolism from pagan demonology and mythology. Like, just they're just truly showing their colors for what they are, who they are. Or you can actually believe they're actually like it's a coincidence. They actually get taking that name just because it sounds cool. You can actually go with that interpretation and be fucking deceived, alright. So that's about it, bro. Like,